homer, led the league in tackles with 85. The deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, Dancy, all around. Throwing as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver, you're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
Hello and welcome to Shady Sports Network. Today we have a very special interview with Caleb Stennis, the author and former pro athlete of So You Want to Be a Pro. Caleb, it's great to have you on. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on and blessing me with this opportunity to be on this platform and talk about the book. So You Want to Be a Pro. Go get it. It's in Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and of course on my own personal site, stennisfactor.com.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, definitely. I've been reading a copy that Caleb was nice enough to send to me. It's a great book, really gives you some really good insight and also a boatload of advice for any aspiring athletes trying to get to that next level, or even just keep going where you're at and just being a better overall person and athlete. So it's definitely a good read. Before we get into the book, though, Caleb, how about a little bit of a background info on you, how your career went overall and what ultimately gave you the thought or the courage to write this book for other athletes?
Man, my career was very tumultuous. My career, there was a lot of different things that happened. In my college career, I had a medical red shirt. I was playing as a true freshman at the Division I AA level, Robert Morris University. Ended up, like I said, medical red shirt in there, transferring because they would not release anything that I had, even practice film. I had to start over. So I went down to the JUCO level. While I was at Tyler JUCO, had a really great spring, got invited to a camp at University of Tennessee. This was right before Alvin Kamara was there when Tennessee Knoxville had that little short coach. I forget his name, but I was there balling with them. They didn't sign me, but ended up going then being recruited by Trinity Valley Community College, from Trinity Valley Community College in Athens in the fall, got a full ride, a dual scholarship actually to Minnesota State Mankato, where I played Division II football. But when I also got there, they were like, oh, because of the transfer rules, you have to sit out. And so I ended up sitting out there. I ended up for a year, ended up sitting out at Robert Morris because of the medical red shirt. And so it was like, finally, I'm thinking, man, I'm getting ready to go to Minnesota State and really ball out. And, got hit with that NCAA thing, even though I was a starter there. I was starting at running back. I was starting at kick returner. I was starting at punt returner as soon as I was there. And I had to sit that year out. Ended up getting another injury during sitting out, have a surgery there. And so I had a tumultuous college career that kind of was marked with some untimely injuries, even though I was the best where I was. I was a great player where I was. in all the different places where I was at. And so at Minnesota State, I said, you know what, I'm going to play professional now. Like, I'm tired of playing college games. Right. So immediately I left, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to go to an NFL regional combine. You remember the NFL regional combines? Thinking I'm going to go to the regional combine and I'm going to show that I'm fast and all my measurables and all this. And then I'm going to get a spot. And guess what? The year that I came out, 2017, they canceled all the regional NFL combines. And I was like, oh no, I thought I had a somewhat of a roadmap to be seen. Then it became, okay, let me get into a pro day, right? Let me be seen at a pro day, right? But then I couldn't get into a pro day, right? So I'm like, okay, you can't even, like, you have to jump through so many hoops to even be seen. So then I had to get creative. I got connected with different coaches, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to make my own pro day. Right. So I got all these drills that I would have done at these pro days or at the combine on tape. And I started flooding the media and connecting and letting coaches and create my own audience of coaches and GMs and all that stuff. And of course, I hit the tryout circuit. Right. I hit the CFL tryouts and was balling at the tryouts. Right. And Saskatchewan and BC Lions and that whole thing. And I got on with the spring league, right? I got on with the spring league when it was still big. Did really well at the spring league. This was at the launch. This was right before the launch of the XFL, right? Did really good at the spring league. Patrick Peterson's father was there. A bunch of big name executives was there. The executive who was running it at the time was actually behind the USFL. He was the front office guy of the USFL. Now I think he's doing something with high school. He was a front office exec of the now UFL. And so after that, that was 2019, 2020. The Frisco Fighters came into play in Dallas, right? And so I went to and so during that time also, I was trying to get representation, finally got people to represent me. I was doing so well at these tryouts that an NFL, CFL agent wanted to represent me. So got them to represent me, which helped me get into other doors that I didn't know. Hey, like, you can't even get into these doors without representation. And so did that. Then I went to a tryout. I kind of had already been talking to the staff, but went to a Frisco Fighters tryout. Was the best there. Got signed on the spot at the, immediately upon the closing of that tryout. Got signed, right? And then in their inaugural year, went into camp with them. They were only going to keep one running back. There was three of us. I ended up being one of the two that was cut. Immediately the next day got signed again to what was then the West Texas Warbirds. I think they did a stint in the NAL, and then they became the West Texas Desperados or something. They rebranded. COVID hit. This was 2020. So COVID hit, canceled everybody's seasons, right? And I was like, dang, what am I going to do? Then I got a random call. Hey, we heard about you. I want you to come to this workout. This is going to be big. That's when the Fan Control Football League launched. So I went to the Fan Control Football League, worked out again. This video is on YouTube also. Worked out again, did really well at the workout, ended up getting signed almost immediately upon that workout. Right. After that workout, was in the Fan Control, went up there to Norcross, Georgia at the launch of that league. And it was really official. Shout out to those guys. And ended up getting cut there. And I was like, man, nothing had even started yet. They just cut me and brought in some ex-NFL guys, right? Because they wanted to bolster the name of the league. And so after that, I was in Florida. I moved to Florida. I was training. And the Oregon High Desert Storm, who is now the Oregon Lightning in the AFL1, started. And I got a call, hey, there's this new team starting up. Do you want to play? And I was like, yeah, right. The West Texas Warbirds, they wanted me back. They offered me another contract, but I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to Oregon, High Desert Storm. And then my career really took off with them. I was leading rusher through the first 6 games. I had like 12 touchdowns in 6 games. I led the league in touchdowns. I led the league in yards through 6 games. I think only maybe a quarterback had more touchdowns than me in that league. And I messed around and got connected to the German football league in the middle of the season. Because my plan was always, hey, I'm going to springboard and go higher. And so in the middle of the season, the Berlin Rebels of the German Football League contacted me, said, hey, we want you to come do what you're doing over there with us here in Germany. So they contacted me on a Tuesday. By Thursday, I was on a flight to Berlin, the heart of Germany, GFL 1. Went there, balled out again. I think I was like the number 8 lead. I was the number 8 leading rusher in that league through. I think I only played 7 games, so I ended up cracking the top 10 my first year there. I led the team in yards, led the team in touchdowns. As a non-quarterback. And then after that, I kind of was made in the international space. Like I had deals coming from everywhere. I had deals coming from the IFL, deals coming from Brazil, deals coming from the GFL, deals coming from leagues in Poland. I probably had like 20 offers. I had offers everywhere. I had all kind of IFL offers, coming to Quad City and the New Mexico and who else was it? There was a team out there in Arizona, Tucson Sugar Skulls, who, I actually got a deal with them. So in 2022 now I kind of was made in that space. And I ended up getting an offer from Tucson Sugar Skulls, who I was signed to in the IFL. And then also this kind of branch off of the LFA, the Fam League, came into play. Boom, the Fam League, they were basically teams that had left the LFA and formed their own league. The Fam League in Mexico offered me as well. And so I was double signed. And I chose to go ahead and go to Mexico. It was, playing for Cancun, playing for that team in Cancun in Mexico. And, unfortunately, things didn't go well there. The team just wasn't well-rounded. It wasn't well-ran. They didn't have the funding. I mean, it ended up, that league in itself ended up folding. The teams ended up, now some of those teams kind of rebranded and went to the IFA and things like that. So I had a stint in Mexico, even though, I was balling there, but I ended up getting a small injury there, a knee sprain, and leaving that team. And then in 2023, I was invited to a workout for the USFL. So went to a showcase for the USFL, ran a 4.4, did really well in front of scouts, actually got some calls back. But, I was like 30 years old, let's see, that was last year. I was 30, right? I was 30. So they were like, hey, we really liked you. We don't, you can't tell that you're 30 years old, but, some of the owners feel like, hey, these are developmental leagues. Like you're 30 years old. Like there's not much development that's going to happen. Right. And so I said, okay. And I said, you know what, so even though I got calls back, it didn't develop into anything. And I said, you know what, let me go ahead and get established. And so I stepped away from the game. I stepped down from the game. And, during that time, I felt, I'm a man of God. I'm a Christian. I felt God telling me to write this book to help young men everywhere avoid a lot of the pitfalls that I went through during my journey. Right? How do you get seen when how do you get seen when there is no way for you to be seen by people who matter? Right? How do you build a fan base? How do you market yourself? What are the platforms that you can get on to get visibility? How do you deal with coaches, and how do you get agents? How do you get player representatives? What's the difference? What are the leagues that I should play in? Everybody's trying to get you to play in their league so that they can say we got really good players, but the league itself is brand new. The league is unestablished, so how do you navigate that? Where should I go that scouts even care about? So I write in the book, I believe I talked about it, where I literally sat down with the Redskin scout, a paid Redskin scout, not a for play Redskin scout. And I picked his brain. Hey, what are you looking for? What leagues do you pay attention to? Where are your eyes? Where is the organization looking at? What kind of players? What are the measurables you're looking for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And a lot of my things that I already knew were confirmed. Hey, we want a guy this height, this size, these numbers. Did he play in these leagues? If he played in these leagues, we'll only look at him if he was sent to us by somebody that we trust their opinion. Right? And so compiling this knowledge, and of course dealing with agents, dealing with player representatives who I'm still in contact with, I kind of put together a roadmap like, hey, everybody ain't going to the NFL. I don't care how good you are. It's just so many spots. It's only so many spots. But you need to understand that if you don't make it to the NFL, your career is not over. If you don't make it initially into the CFL, your career is not over. There's so many places, or there's a few places that you can go and play that are respected. There are places that you can go and make some decent money, right? Where that's all you have to do. And so a lot of people don't know these places. A lot of people don't know even how to be a pro, right? I'm still connected to certain coaches. Like Oregon Lightning's head coach was my offensive tackle. He blocked for me. Right. So I'm still connected to those guys. I'm still connected to their former GM, Nick Moss. Right. I can contact these guys at a moment's notice. I still talk to them. And so I realized that there's a severe lack in teaching people what does it mean to be a pro athlete. It's not just you have a contract, you signed a contract. Right. It's not just, oh, I got a minicamp contract. They could cut you in one day off that minicamp contract. That don't even mean you made it. You know what I mean? How do I maintain my body? How do I eat? I got to do this day after day after day. Like, how do I not get hurt? How do I get the right representation? What league should I play in? Like, okay, how do I pivot where I'm playing now to where I really want to go? And so I try to how do I make money while I'm playing, right? Some of these leagues aren't paying hardly anything, even though they have broadcasting deals. So you'll be seen, but you broke, right? So how do you make money during your playing career when you're playing at the lower minor league or developmental league levels, right? So that's what, I put this in and like, hey, this is a mentorship, right? Instead of me having these hour-and-a-half conversations every 5 minutes with people to really show them you just don't know what you don't know. Let me put it all in a book where you can go and digest this information and have access, to that counsel, to that resource, I think are you
Exactly,
muted?
because I mean, so few people do know about all that, and quite frankly, it's hard to find some of that information. So you took a lot of the footwork out of it by introducing and writing this book. It's definitely going to help a lot of people. I actually, while I was reading the majority of it that I did, I was even thinking to myself, I'm going to have to save this, and if my kid, when he gets older, ever wants to play sports at a pro level, I'm going to give him this book. And I'm going to be like, here you go, kid. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
But because I really did enjoy the book, and you bring up a lot of good points. But the first one, first and foremost to me, was the importance of not just film, but quality film, not just playing, but also training. Do you want to give the viewers watching a little bit of a taste of the film and the importance of it?
Absolutely. So film is the bread and butter, right? Film, and like, for example, right, the all pro of the LFA, right? He contacted me and I'm talking to him and I'm asking him where he's playing, and he didn't know where he was playing, right? This is the all pro offensive player of the year this year, right? Running back. And I'm looking at his film, right? And he balled, like he balled out of control. But the way that he did his film was a buildup. And I'm like, look, if you're trying to pivot this into bigger leagues, if you're trying to go here, if you're trying to immediately make a mark, first of all, you need to have this structured to where this jumps off the page in the first 30 seconds. In the first 30 seconds to 1 minute, what are your most explosive plays that give somebody a snapshot of the climax of your ability, the highest point of your ability and what you can offer, right? Because like I said, everybody's trying to get on. Everybody's trying to be seen. Everybody wants you to watch their film, right? But what about all this dead space, right? This 5 seconds before the snap and just the stillness and all. No, you need to cut all that out. Cut all that out. Put all your best plays first. Put all your statistics up front before the video. Make sure the video is labeled right on YouTube and on the different platforms that it's on, so that it can be found in the search engine easy, right? Make sure that in how you label it, hey, it has your name, it has the league that you played in, it has the year of this film, right? It has all the key details that take out the guesswork, right? So people can know. Make sure you have your film has your contact information, your agent's contact information. Make sure that your film kind of has a momentum to it. It kind of makes people want to continue, and that you're not using some crazy obscene language and things like that. People think that these things don't matter, but they do matter. And all the coaches that I've talked to, they bring these things up. They bring up the littlest stuff that you wouldn't even think is disqualifying you from them pulling the trigger on you. And so I try to say, okay, there's a way to do this that can help you go where you're trying to go. And also, even how you approach training, right? Like training, first of all, you're not just going to the gym and working out and getting strong. Like real pros train towards a goal, right? Like you observe your performance. What did I do well? What did I not do well? Right? What are the areas that I need to get better in? Do I need to get faster? Do I need to get stronger? What's my balance off? Right? What do I need to do to break more tackles? Right? Or catching the ball. Of course, you got your on-field training, your skill training, which is a domain of training in itself. Skill training is a domain in itself, right? There are people who strictly do that. Then there is performance training, bigger, faster, stronger, jump higher, right? Move quicker, right? Performance training. And you need both, right? Now there's a middle ground in there where it's like, hey, I need to get ready for a workout, a tryout, a showcase, a private workout, right? In which case, what's going to happen? They're going to get your numbers. Now, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good you can catch the ball. If you're a receiver and you run a 4.9, you're not getting signed. I don't care how good you are. It's not going to happen. So, you hear something common from athletes. Oh, I'm not a test taker like that. I'm just a football player. That's why you are at home. That's why you at home, because you got to realize, right? You're hurting yourself. You're making yourself unmarketable when these GMs and owners look at that paper and see. Now, if you're a skill player, right? If you're a skill player, this says 4.9. And they already have a subliminal box that says we're only taking wide receivers that run 4.5s or under. I've literally heard that from different CFL teams, right? They have certain standards. Hey, we want all our guys to at least be this fast, be this tall, be this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so you need to make sure that you test well, that you are as good as advertised when they see you on the spot. Because I don't care who you are, even in the NFL, when they bring these pro guys in for trades and for different things, they make them work out. You're gonna run this 40. Period. You're gonna run this 40. You're gonna do these drills, right? We're going to verify that what we see on tape is real, right? And the only way that they can do that is measurable is through the test. So you got to get good at testing. You're not going to get away from testing, and you got to play football. So you got to train for both of those things pretty much constantly when you're not in season and you're trying to get on a team.
And speaking of always putting yourself in a better spot, it doesn't just count as on the field, which goes into the next major point in your book that I loved. It is how to conduct yourself on social media, because in today's world, social media, like you said in your book, that's basically like your business card, because people see it. And if, you can't undo what goes on the internet nowadays. So, did you ever have any like personal conversations with any GMs or coaches about how often they do look and focus on social media when, especially if they have to choose between, certain athletes on cut day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you to, I try to, whenever I have agents and people that they send me their players, they say, hey, I want you to mentor this guy. I want you to talk to this guy. I want you to, he doesn't get it. Like help him understand what's going on. And I explained to him, listen, you are a product. The team is a business, and they are choosing between what you're selling and what somebody else who claims they do the exact same thing as you is also selling. And so what are they going to do? They're going to window shop, right? Even if they see the film, they want to see, first of all, you are going to become a poster card or a direct representation of their organization, right? They want to see, are you doing stuff that is going to make the brand look bad? Are you doing stuff that, and yes, I have had coaches call me. I have had different coaches, GMs, scouts compliment me on my social media. Hey man, I just love the way you carry yourself. I love the way that you market. I love the way that you represent yourself and just how you carry yourself. And I've had coaches and different agents send to me players and say, hey, like, look at his example. This is how you should do it. This is how you should go about it. XYZ, because when they go and when they're getting ready to pull the trigger on you, they're going to vet you. They're going to vet you in a few different ways. I remember I had a guy, he hadn't even contacted me, right? He just looked at a post that I posted on LinkedIn without ever talking to me. And he told me this later. He was like, I went and called your college coaches. I talked to them. They had nothing but good things to say about you. I did this. Before we ever even made contact, he had already done that. Then after he did that, he went and scoured all my social media. He went and looked through my LinkedIn. He went and looked through my Instagram. He went and looked through, right? And he would say things like, hey, I see that this is something that you really do. This is your lifestyle. This is the kind of guy that we're looking for to represent our organization. Why? Because we're going to have you signing autographs and kissing babies and going and doing appearances and things like that, where you're going to be a branch of us. You're going to be representing us, right? If you do commercials, if we do endorsements and different things like that, right? We're going to send you there wearing a jersey, right? We're going to send you there as a representative, as an ambassador. So pros have to understand, right? When they sign you, they're expecting you to be an ambassador for their organization, right? Because as soon as, you know, you, God forbid, you get caught up in a scandal, or you got some problematic behavior, or you get pulled over with a DUI, they're not going to say your name first. They're going to say such and such player, Oregon Lightning player. I'm just using their name, but you know, any team, right? Oakland Raiders player, such and such does this, right? It's going to immediately reflect bad on the organization. So they want to see, like, are you a risk? Are you somebody who is going to dirty the name of our organization, especially if it's a newer organization or it's unestablished, right? Are you a person that's going to hurt our brand, right? Are you marketable? Right. And so you need to make yourself marketable, and you can do that through your social media. Your social media will speak loud for you before they even cut. You know how many deals I have in my Facebook Messenger, in my Instagram account? That's where they're there watching you, watching everything you do. I have coaches to this day. They watch every story that I post on social media, right? To this day. Right? GMs, et cetera, et cetera. They're watching everything that you do, just like your family is, right? Is that the kind of guy that we want to work with every day? Is that the kind of guy we want representing our organization, right? Is he, I remember I had a coach, I had a certain teammate, I had the offensive coordinator come up to me, and even though this guy was a great player, he had a problem with this guy smoking a lot of weed. Right now, this coach came in and confided in me about this, and I never brought it up. You know, it never. But that just goes to show you they care about that stuff. They are looking at that stuff. That stuff is hurting you, and you don't even know it. You thinking that they just don't care. Oh, you know, but they're going to see my film. The film talks for itself. Yeah, the film talks for itself, but also you a cokehead. Right? Also, you're a party animal. Also, you showing that you have a very unstable lifestyle. Also, you showing that, you know, you all on social media with guns and weapons and all this stuff, and they see all that stuff and they're like, this guy is a risk. This guy's going to put the money in jeopardy. Can I count on him to watch film? Can I count on him to be at practice every day? Am I going to have behavioral issues and have to handle him, right? Like handle him to get him to do what I want him to do, what I need him to do on a week-to-week basis. And so your social media, right? You want that to be a box that is checked off, that's already speaking for you. They want to know, does he work? What's his work ethic? Does he work hard? You want your social media to represent you to where they assume, hey, he's a character guy. He has character. You want your social media to say to these owners, to these coaches, hey, he's a professional. He carries and he understands, hey, this is business. He understands that he's representing an organization. Like I did a number of what they call micro endorsements for different businesses and stuff. Okay, like we see he can represent other organizations well, right? Other organizations find value in his uniqueness and his brand, right? And so you want to use your social media as a tool to net more offers, right? Now you can't do that if you mixing it with a lot of vices and different personal habits that keep your personal, right? Keep those personal things personal, because they for sure can hurt you. And so that's important. That's why I try to stress this, because yeah, I sat down with these coaches, these GMs, these scouts, and they will, if it's between you, this guy and you, and y'all's talent is both great, right? Both of y'all are ballers, but this guy's a pillar in his community. This guy's doing charity work. This guy's speaking at schools. This guy's doing all this. And yours, you showing yourself popping bottles, smoking weed, pointing guns in the air, all this stuff. Guess who they signed? They signed him. They signed him because it's not only about playing. It's about growing that brand of that team, or being an ambassador of that team. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And social media, biggest way to self promote, but also could be your greatest downfall. So it's
Yeah.
definitely something to keep an eye on, especially for any future athletes uh, trying and working at it and watching this for some tips. Definitely be careful on social media. Always promote yourself in a good way. Uh, we do have a few more questions, but first we're just going to take a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back.
I'm just being myself, cool as can be. When I'm being myself, you wish you were me. It's so easy. Get out your own way. It's just so easy.
Welcome back. We're going to continue this interview with Caleb Stennis, the author of So You Want to Be a Pro. And the next question, I should say, I have for him, I can definitely attest to as well, having been a former coach, being on a couple teams, making connections, the importance of it. You always want to make friends and keep them, especially in the pro sports business. Uh, Caleb, you describe it as almost like a life force if you want to be able to move up throughout the ranks. You know, how did connections help you throughout your career?
Man, I learned that the game is gonna continue. Now you can be mad at the game, right? A lot of people, they see the game, they're like, no, I'm not gonna get involved in that. I'm not gonna. And the thing about it is, whether you like it or not, that game is gonna continue, right? And it's gonna continue whether you want it to, whether you submit to it or whether you don't. And that game is the what I would call relationship capital, right? Relationships matter. Relationships are the lifeblood. And what I found is your film could be, I mean, top of the line, great film. You a baller. You feel me? Your film is I mean, you dominating, right? You got all your workout footage, right? Like you working out on social media and all that. And what's going to happen? A coach is still going to, before he contacts you, go and research you and ask people who have come into contact with you, people who play who you played for, or other people who you've worked with. They're going to still say, what do you think about this guy? Now they looking at the film, they looking at the social media, they looking at the workouts. Still, they went and asked somebody who was in connection, hey, what do you think about this guy? Is this the real deal? Is what I'm seeing real? Right? And so what does that mean? Your name needs to be good in the streets. Like a lot of people don't realize that you got into it with somebody, right? For example, you got into it with somebody and you burned a bridge, right? Maybe they even did you wrong. Maybe they did you wrong, but the way that you went about it on social media made coaches be like, yeah, if he did that to him and he sees any problem here, he'll do that here. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the circus, right? So in the way that you handled this person, even though they did you wrong, it hurt you to handle it the way that you handled it, right? And so I learned, okay, they're always going to vet me. I cannot escape my own name. I cannot escape what I did at the last place. I cannot escape where I was. So I need to make sure that everywhere I go, I leave every place better than how I found it. I need to make sure that I leave every place and that my reputation precedes me, right? So that when they go see and they go look into the nitty gritty, everything checks out, and that never is something that hinders me from getting opportunities. And at a certain point also, from another aspect, I started learning, hey, there are certain doors that you can't even get into because they're looking for a cosign from somebody that they trust. They're looking for a cosign from, now you sent this coach of some film, right? They looked at the film, they disregarded the film, right? But then a coach that they respect or an agent that they've been doing business with that's been sending them great players for a while sent that same film to that same coach and they took it seriously and offered you a contract, right? There's been times where I just literally woke up, it was contracts in my email. I'm like, how did this person even get my email, right? But it was because that vetting that is going on underneath the surface, like this world is small. This sports world is small. All these coaches talk. All these coaches are involved with one another. They shift and move around from this team to that team. I mean, it's a very interconnected, thing, even overseas, right? A lot of these overseas guys were arena guys at one point, were like they bounced around. So you have to realize, like, you never want to burn any bridges. You always want to keep your name good. You never want to play people because those things will come back to hurt you. And sometimes the edge between you and a guy who have similar ability is just the fact that this guy, because he likes you, because you have a relationship with him, he's rooting for you now. Like beyond the business, beyond the professional, he himself has a vested interest in you now. He just likes you. He's like, man, you know what? I believe personally in that guy beyond to the point that I'm going to put my neck on the line and fight for him behind the scenes to get a shot. Right. And so sometimes that's the thing. Like I've seen some of the best players you never heard of not touch the field because they were at odds with different coaches. Right. They were at odds with these different coaches, and these coaches had personal investments in these other people. And so what happens? Even though this guy was good, he didn't touch the field. Right. So, okay. So how do I get in front of that? You come in with that relationship with the coach. I mean, yeah, it goes without saying you got a ball, right? But you also need that relationship. For example, I knew a guy playing for a team in Germany. He was their starting quarterback, right? Balling out. I mean, broke records this season, broke records in that season, right? All year, their offensive coordinator was trying to replace him to the point that he literally flew a whole nother quarterback out there and worked them out. And we talking about Germany. They weren't even making, a whole bunch of money like that. So you could be balling, and because this coach doesn't like you or whatever have you, they're trying to replace you. Right? You don't want the very people that you playing for trying to replace you in the middle of the season because they don't like you, even though you're balling. Right? You need that relationship. Y'all need to be able to sit down, watch film, them hear your input, take your input serious so they can put you in the best scenario to be successful, right? You could be a great player, but this coach is doing, like, he's trying to force his system that doesn't work for you. Like, you thrive in a different system. He want to run I formation and you a zone runner, right? He want to do these different schemes that don't maximize your ability, but y'all don't have that relationship to where he's even trying to put you in those positions that would highlight what you do best. So who suffers from that? He's still going to have a job. You look bad because you didn't have that relationship. Right. And so there are those things. There are, agents, player representatives who fought for me when I didn't even know they were fighting for me. Right. I'm getting calls from coaches. I'm getting offers from coaches. And then I'm talking to these agents behind the scenes like, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, man, I sent your stuff over here. I sent it over here. These weren't even people I was signed to. These wasn't even agents, player representatives that I was signed to. These are just people that I had relationships with that really wanted to see me make it. And so I had people fighting for me when I didn't even know, just because we had a relationship. You know what I mean? And so those things go a long way because it's only so much that you can do for yourself. You need somebody else that is also vying for you and saying, hey, no, he's the real deal. I seen him. I stick my reputation on it. You let him play for you. He's going to do a great job, right? And they're going from that because they don't know you. These coaches don't know you. These GMs don't know you. So they're looking for who knows him that I trust, right? And so you need to be in relationship with the people that they're going to go to verify you. You see? And so I saw that, you know, those things go a long way. So I made sure to keep my name good, both in the sports representation world, but also among coaches, GMs, and scouts and people like that. Yeah.
And one thing, segueing kind of into my next question slash, you know, point of the book. All these things go hand in hand. You know, you need to train good, train properly. You need to be good on social media and embrace connections and show that you deserve to be where you are. But to get there on the way, sometimes it does help to, you know, we'll say get a few freebies thrown your way. And that's where you express in the book the importance of micro endorsements,
Yeah.
which, you know, as you even say in the book, you're not going to be a millionaire off it, but it's definitely going to help you along the way. Uh, Explain to the viewers some, maybe even some micro endorsements that you got in your career and how it can really help an athlete, especially one that doesn't have unlimited funds.
Absolutely, man. So, you know, first of all, anybody can have the juice for one day, but for you to reproduce that over and over and over and over again while the grind of it all is taking a toll on your body, you're going to need some help. You're going to need some supplements, right? Even working out in itself, you are not getting stronger when you work out. You're working out breaks your body down, and then you go rest. And then when you rest, your body rebuilds itself stronger during the rest. It's not even during the workout, right? So what helps your body in that natural process? Supplements, food and supplements, right? Well, you play an arena, you making $250 a game, $500 a game, whatever. Like, you may not have money to do that and pay these other bills that you have. So boom, you get micro endorsements. So they send you free products in exchange for exposure of their product to your audience, right? And so I had a CFL agent who I used to who was representing me, exposed me to the game. She said they have a certain rating, right, where these companies, they determine what one post from you is worth in dollars, where they go and they add up all your followers, they go get all your social media handles, they look at all your followers, they look at this it was an app that does it, weighs in on all your followers, all your engagements, how many times you post, what was your, like, all your metrics for your social media, and it spits out a number, right? It says, hey, you know, the rating of this person is this rating, and one post from them is worth this dollar amount, right? And so that's how they determine, first of all, that's how a lot of them determine, first of all, if they want to do business with you and to what level they want to do business with you. There's a level where it's just, hey, we're just going to pay you straight cash, right? Then there's a level where, hey, we're going to send you products. We want to send, and then there's a level where they send you both, right? And so I was getting a lot of free products. I was getting, there was a brand, I forget what the name of this brand was, but basically it was a vegan supplement that I would take, right, for more health purposes. There were some micro endorsements that I turned down for jewelry and things like that. Trying to think what else did I do? Different things for coaches and endorsing their businesses and things like that, driving clients to their businesses. And so, you know, you can keep going. There was some that I turned down for, like, CBD and things like that, you know, they wanted to do that kind of business. You know, I turned it down. But, you know, you get into that space, that can help you a lot. You know, you'll have people sending you free gloves, people sending you cleats. Hey, you can have this if you just review it, right? We just want you to review it. We want you to shine a spotlight on it, and we'll pay you, or the product in itself is the payment. And it really helps to have a buffer in the form of an agent or player representative who can sew that business up, and so it doesn't take your focus away, right? Because you're the business, right? You're making sure your body is right and you're fast and you're strong and all that. And you don't want to get too wrapped up in trying to negotiate terms with these businesses and things like that. So you have an agent or a representative or a team who does that for you. Normally, those who represent you, if their firm does that, right? If their firm is skilled in that and publicity and things like that, they will do that for you, right? So you don't have to. And so, I mean, you can do it the guerrilla way. Like, you can literally message these brands and, say, hey, I want to do a collab with you for such and such price. You can name your price and da 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 da. Like, you can do it yourself as well, like that too. But the firm that I was signed to, they had a dedicated person that just went out and did that for me, made those connections with different brands, pitched me, and, set up agreements to, for me to, do those micro endorsement deals. And, you do one or two and they enjoy it, then you get repeat business. So I did one, like I said, with this brand. I wish the name is escaping me, but I did repeat business with them. I like their supplement. I like doing business with them, and they would, they kept sending me more and more products. And so it worked out. Oh, I did another one for another supplement. It was like a blood flow supplement. All kind of companies out there looking to get their brand bigger and bring visibility to their brand. And so that can eliminate some of those costs in maintaining your body for the sport, getting free protein, getting gloves, getting football gear, getting different supplements like multivitamins, getting all kind of stuff, man. You name it. It just, you get into fashion. You could be, receiving free clothes from different clothing stores and all kind of stuff, man. It's endless.
Yeah, man, it'll feel like the mail call is like Christmas morning, right?
Right. Exactly.
One of the final points from your book before we just get into some of the just more general questions that I wrote down for you is the fact that a lot of players either don't know or don't think there is a serious market for football outside of basically the States and Canada, when really European and overseas football is actually everywhere now. And of course, we already touched upon a little bit of arena and indoor football as well. Some players though still have the stigma that they don't want to go overseas or go to indoor or arena football. Obviously, that it helped you out tremendously in your career. So what message would you have for players who might not want to go overseas to continue their career?
Well, here's the thing I would say to you. You have to determine, okay, football is a game of projection, right? It is to a degree what I see on tape, but it is also, when I look at you, I believe that you can do X. I feel like I could put you in this scheme, and like coaches need to be able to project what you could do for them. Now, keeping that in mind, me as a running back, I understood that arena was not the best showcase of my ability, because arena's really not made for running backs. Arena almost translates directly to the CFL for receivers and for defensive backs, possibly quarterbacks, but you see some linebackers come out of there, D linemen, O linemen, but not really for running back. So for me, I realized, hey, I need to be projected in an outdoor space where they can really see my vision. They can really see what I can do. They can really see me open up and run. I mean, it's only so far you're going to go on a 50-yard field, right? They need to really see what I can do. Like your primary role, the primary role of a running back in arena is you're going to be blocking and protecting the quarterback. Right, you're not going to be doing all, or you may catch a few balls out of the backfield, but it's a really small confined space. It doesn't project well to the outdoor game. Now, are there some players here and there that make it to the NFL, CFL, and beyond from arena? Yeah, but not many. I mean, if you look at, I think there's a guy ranking over there in the CFL. He's balling for the Eskimos, I believe. He was a baller. But by and large, a lot of the running backs, they don't make it out of the arena. So I didn't want to be confined to arena. Now, arena is a great spot if you don't have any professional film. Let me just say this, right? It's never a good idea to get out of college and just sit until an NFL, CFL, UFL opportunity come, because every year that you are not playing is playing against you. They're looking at it and they're saying, when was the last time you played football? Like, it's been 3 years. It's been 2 years. It's been, XYZ. So I learned, because at first I was taking that approach, right? Like, I'm not playing arena. I'm going to the CFL. I'm not playing arena, right? And I realized after a while, okay, this is hurting me not being on the field. I don't have any professional film, right? So I need to get professional film on a respected stage. So it has the power to establish you in a professional light. So boom, I go play arena, show, hey, I can play at the professional level. Right. I am a professional athlete. I can compete at this level. I can compete with these guys and do well. Right. So after that, no matter what you did in college, you can erase what you did in college with one good season in a respected professional league like the Arena League, AFL 1, NAL, these different leagues. But you have to realize, like, it's still a minor league. You're trying to use that to pivot to an outdoor league somewhere, right, that is respected. And so I always knew that. I treated it kind of like junior college. Hey, this is JUCO. I'm trying to get out of here and get back to the outdoor game where my real ability can be seen. And the professional leagues overseas have that. They are established. The GFL has put people in the NFL. The GFL where I played, for example, GFL 1, is an old league. It's been around for a long time. The Polish league, the LFA. When I was at the LFA, we were playing in front of almost 10,000 fans. I mean, it was like big time. We was on TV out there. I was on national television both in Germany and in Mexico, right? And so you have to realize these are different media markets. Right, they have broadcasting deals. They're on TV, and you look at the ELF, which is a reboot kind of rebranded, restructured version of NFL Europe. Right, they have all kind of sponsors and broadcasting deals and American announcers, and they're getting 20-30,000 fans in their game. So yeah, absolutely. These leagues have NFL pathway programs where they put guys in the NFL, where they put guys in the CFL, where the CFL goes and watches these leagues and chooses, hey, who wants to or who they want to choose to be a part of their CFL draft, right? Because the CFL draft is international. Right, you look at a guy like Kennedy Adams, who is a phenomenal running back I like, who went over there, balled in the GFL, and then ended up performing in the CFL draft. Right, but they scouted him from there. They scouted him from the GFL. You look at, there was a DB named Abu. I forget what his name was, his last name, but he got a contract into the Cincinnati Bengals. Right, from the GFL 1, same league I was playing. He was playing for the Potsdam Royals, right? We played against each other. So these teams are for sure putting players in higher leagues, and the NFL and the CFL and the UFL look at them, right? You look at Cowboys returner. Oh my God, his name is slipping my mind, but littler guy. What'd you say?
Turban.
Yeah, me and Turban was together at the Frisco Fighters and at the Fan Control. He was in both those leagues. I ended up leaving, going to an arena league, but he ended up going to the ELF, right? Where he balled, had a great career in the ELF. From the ELF, he then went USFL, balled in the USFL. Then from the USFL, went to the NFL. But guess what? Where he went to the USFL, they scouted him from the ELF, right? And so these, you understand, like, talent is there. And the NFL and the CFL and these different leagues, they respect that talent. They go and get that talent from over there. You can go to Japan. They're paying anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 a year to play over there. They own billboards over there. Like, you go to Japan, it's big time over there. They got great competition. I know players over there, right? Their competition is great. Their competition over there is respected. So these leagues exist. These leagues have established fan bases. These leagues have established media markets where you're going to be on TV. You're going to be on their YouTube. You're going to be on their platforms. They're going to push you. You're going to get endorsements, even if it is endorsements in that country, in another country. They're going to push you. They're going to get you out there. And once you get out there, you get more opportunities. See, the thing about it is, arena a lot of times breeds more arena opportunities, right? Like, when you're in arena and you do well, guess what? You get more arena deals. When I went over there overseas, I was getting deals from arena. I was getting deals from at least 10 different nations, right? Because I've broken into that market. I'm in that market now, and I'm in this market. The arena is its own market, right? So you want to be good enough to where you can go to any market. Mexico is its own market in itself. There's Mexico, there's Europe in general, right? The European market and the different nations there that have all their leagues, and also the ELF. And then there is the different arena leagues here, right? So all those are different markets that you have to break into. And I mean, obviously it goes without saying that you have to ball, and all of them aren't big, right? That's why I put in my book, hey, these are the ones that I know for sure NFL scouts look at, UFL scouts look at, CFL scouts look at. It's a proven track record. You can go and look at different players that they've pulled from these leagues, from these overseas leagues, from these arena leagues, from these indoor leagues, to say, hey, don't go play semi-pro. I know some semi-pro leagues right now that pop up, and these scouts will flat out tell you, if it's semi-pro film, we're not even looking at it because we can't verify the level of competition, right? And there are some scouts that say, man, we don't verify the competition, blah, blah, blah. But then there are other scouts that I've talked to that say, hey, man, we like what you're doing, and it becomes a needs game, right? Do we have need for your position, right? So I would say that, I could honestly still be playing right now. I just hey, I'm 31 years old. Like, I have a wife. Like, I need to start building. I need to start, making sure that I have something after this game is over with, because this game can use you up and spit you out. Then you 35 and you don't have nothing, right? And so I would tell players that you need to get established in professional football before you get to the point where you can turn opportunities down. Like, you need film at the professional level, somewhere respected, before you can turn opportunities down, because you may turn down the wrong opportunity that could have catapulted you into another market, and now you stuck, Now, you're not getting deals. Now you can't even get in that market. Like that team that offered you to go over XYZ got you in that market. And I'll never forget, I was in Germany and we had this booster there, good friend of mine. He looked out for me while I was there. And I was talking to him. He said, "You international now, son. Like you're not getting it. Your mindset is you still thinking small." Like, and once he said that to me, I said, "Oh, like the world opened up to me, not just in the sense that I can travel and see the world, but I had all these other opportunities now." And I was in contact with CFL scouts. I was in contact with these people who were giving me good feedback, but I was 30 years old as a running back, so for me, the real estate kind of ran out in that sense. And I chose to, sit it down. But yeah, man, I would tell them, you need to get yourself established on well-known platforms, which I list in the book, like the LFA, like the ELF, so that you can pivot up to a UFL or like the AFL1, like these different platforms that scouts do look at. They do matter. And if you're not there, you need to get on a platform that they're looking for to give them whatever that they didn't see you do in college so that you can get there, right? Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean that's. Oh yeah, oh absolutely, yeah. I mean, as a former coach, I can definitely say sitting or having at least semi-recent game film, it could make a world of a difference for a player. But I do have 2 or 3 questions left for you, but we'll take one more quick commercial break and then wrap this interview up. Once again, we have Caleb Stennis, author of So You Want to Be a Pro, and we will be right back.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Hello and welcome back to Shady Sports. Once again, interviewing Caleb Stennis, author of So You Want to Be a Pro. We've had an awesome interview. We've been going for a little over an hour now. A lot of great topics, a lot of great info. And to be honest with you, that's only the tip of the iceberg of his book. So definitely get a hold of a copy. It will definitely help you out if you're an aspiring athlete, or even as a fan, it'll give you some great insight to the life of a pro athlete. And speaking of life as a pro athlete, if you are able to narrow it down, what would you consider the greatest moment of your playing career personally?
Greatest moment. Man, there was a game that I had in arena ball where I scored like 5 times. Right. And it was so significant because the coach at that time, he tried to play me. Right. And so what happened was we're playing, and I scored the first touchdown, but he didn't feel that I was running the way that he wanted me to run. Right. And so he sat me down for like a quarter and let my backup at that time go in and ball. And I'm thinking like, this is going to be a good game for me to really just, you feel me, go off. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, I'm the one that scored first. Like, why are you sitting me down? You making it seem like I messed up or something, like I fumbled or something, And so he sat me down for the rest of the first half and let my backup play. And by the time he let me back in, I was going crazy after that. Like I was just going crazy. Like it probably was like every 1 to 2 times I was touching the ball, I was scoring for the rest of the game. And I mean, I think one of them they called back, so otherwise it would have been five. It would have been five. I mean, I'm running through people. I'm running, and every time I'm doing something, I'm looking at it like you try to play me, like how dare you, you know? And it kind of was a moment where don't ever do that again, and it brought that up out of me. And he was laughing. I remember he was laughing. I'm like, stop effing playing with me. Stop playing with me. I'm talking to the coach. And he like, man, I shouldn't have to do that, man. I shouldn't have to rile you up like that, you know. And I ended up, doing interviews with the news after the game and taking pictures with all these different people, and all these kids were coming up to me. And it was like, okay, wow, like I kind of got a little taste for fame. You know, we had the first team in that city, you know, so we were the first. We were the prototype of who is now the Oregon Lightning, right? And so that moment was really key for me. I probably say it was the most productive game that I had from a touchdown standpoint in my career. Now I went over there to Germany, and I think I had some 200 plus yards games over there. But from a touchdown standpoint and just the fandom that followed that, and even the respect you get from your teammates. I mean, you know, they see you working hard and different things like that. But when you do it in a game, it's just like a different level of respect, you know, respect from your linemen, respect from the people who see you every single day, you know. And so that probably was a good moment for me in my career, because I needed that season to be a launching season, right? It was kind of the whole, you know, do 1 year in JUCO and shoot up to D1 kind of mindset, you know. And so after that, there were articles in the paper. I had pictures in the paper and things like that. Like it was a good moment in my career for sure. There was some moments that I had in Germany too, where I was in the paper out there, that were pretty good. Our opening game in Cancun, like our first ever game that they ever had in Cancun as a team out there. We were their first team out there. We packed the stadium. It was like 8 to 10,000 people out there. It was a big game. I did really well there, and we kind of put the city on notice. That was a good time. It was a couple good moments. But yeah, that arena team, even though it was on a smaller platform, it felt pretty good.
And speaking of arena football, that's my next question. I know before you said it, especially depending if you're going to, an indoor arena league, it definitely depends on what position you play as to what the ability to really show off what you have to offer. It's sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But just working in or playing in arena football for a little while, less linemen, smaller quarters, shorter field. Do you feel like because of the smaller field and just the faster pace, less time in the pocket for the quarterback to throw the ball and everything else, do you feel like that some athletes, it actually helps playing a year or two in arena or indoor football just to acclimate them to the speed of an advanced game in that regard?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Football is a game of timing. I think also too, what people don't realize is there are a lot of ex-NFL guys that play arena football. There are a lot of ex-CFL guys. There are a lot of CFL, NFL talents in arena football that, maybe they had some character issues or the spots just wasn't there. That's why I say sometimes you could be good enough, but the need was not there, or you didn't have the publicity. You don't have the right representation to leverage that to get there. So there's several different reasons why a person is playing arena ball. It's not just because they weren't good enough, right? And so that being said, you're going to play against some great talent. You're going to play against some monsters in there. You're going to play against some ex-NFL guys who they just want to keep playing football. Like they know that they passed the peak of their career, but they just want to keep playing football because they love the game. You don't know, you playing against some monsters. Like when I was in Oregon, my offensive linemen, 2 of them were ex-Cowboys. The head coach for the Oregon Lightning right now, he blocked for me. He was an ex-pro guy. My center was an ex-Cowboy. When I played in Mexico, my guard used to block for Baker Mayfield. He was an ex-Miami Dolphin. I had another tackle. He was a ex-Arizona Cardinal. I played with a DN when I was out there. He was ex D1 guy, and I forget the pro team he played for. I had another tackle. He was ex Alabama guy. He blocked for Derrick Henry. Like now he's still playing arena football now. 2 of those guys still playing arena football now. One of them is playing for the Sharks, the Jacksonville, and another one also was playing for Jacksonville. You know, I had a tight end who was all state for Georgia State. You know, so yeah, there's talent in these leagues. There's great talent in these leagues. There's certain talent that'll make you think like, why is he here? Right? Like, like how's he not somewhere else? Like he is good. Like he's a baller. Like why was Turpin, who's now a Cowboy, in the Fan Control Football League? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I say the different things that I've said earlier, relationships come into play. Sometimes you have the talent, you even have the film, you just don't have the relationships. Nobody knows you. Like we just don't know you. Like, we don't trust you. Like, none of these coaches know you. Like, we didn't see you play in college, like you balled too. But we just don't know you. Like, and that's a hard pill to swallow for some people, that it comes down to that. You wouldn't think it comes down to that, but arena allows you to establish yourself on the professional level, you know, and so you'll learn that timing. You'll learn what ball is like on the pro level. You'll learn, you know, how to maintain your body with little oversight. You'll learn how to play against some of these grown men who've been doing it for years and years and years, and that's how they make their money, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man, absolutely. I think that if you don't have any opportunities, you probably have to play arena ball. Like I would tell you, go play arena ball. I would tell you, you know, to shy away from the lower levels of overseas. Right now, if you get in those lower levels of overseas, then you could get stuck there. You can work your way up, but you could get stuck there. So if you're going to go overseas, play in the leagues that matter, which is a lot of them I detailed in my book. If you're going to play in arena ball, try to play in the leagues that matter. The leagues that, when I say matter, I mean the leagues that are scouted by higher leagues, right? Because even in arena, there's tiers. There's arena, what they call arena 1, arena 2, and arena 3, right? Now, if you want to be looked at even on the arena level, you need to probably be in arena 1, at the least be in arena 2, right? A lot of people don't know that there's even tiers in that, right? So, and you got to be careful, man. You mess around playing one of these lower arena leagues and be playing on cardboard. Be playing in somebody's backyard or something, man. Be in a terrible position. 50 of y'all living in one house, you know, checks coming late, coaching issue. I mean, you know, you got to be careful. You have to be careful. So, you know, at those higher tiers in arena, those teams are established, and even they, you know, they have a high turnover. They switch leagues. They go from, you know, arena league to arena league. They rebrand themselves and all kind of stuff. So yes, it's a great icebreaker in the professional football.
Yeah, you know, and never forget, people, Kurt Warner was once playing for the Iowa Barnstormers.
Right. Yes, he
Um,
was. Yes, he was.
you know, that's thank you so much for coming on today. You have answered all of my questions, and I'm glad that we were able to discuss your book. Once again, it's on, you said it was on Amazon and your own personal website as well.
Yeah, so you can find So You Want to Be a Pro on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes and Nobles. You can find it on my personal website, stennisfactor.com. That's Stennis, the word factor, FACTOR.com. You can follow me on social media, _, Caleb Stennis. You can follow me at the Stennis Factor, which is kind of my vehicle to educate athletes and put out more athlete related content. You can find me on TikTok at the _ Caleb Stennis. You can find me on YouTube, the Stennis Factor Academy. And I'm going to be not only, of course, this book is out, but I'm going to be releasing programs, strength and conditioning programs, sports performance programs. I have a background in sports performance and strength and conditioning as a certified trainer and also a certified nutritionist. I'm going to be releasing meal plans. I'm going to be releasing these different programs and coaching these guys up and continuing to mentor these guys to really make sure that you don't get in these spaces and you're like a deer in the headlights, you know?
And those, the training programs, are they running back, wide receiver specific, or are they open for all positions?
They're open for all positions. So those are sports performance programs, right? Those are run faster, get stronger, jump higher, like your performance, your engine, right? Now I will come out with a specialized, more running back training video series, and that'll be more tailored towards running backs because, hey, there are certain things that you can do to maintain your skill when you get to these places and improve your skills. So I'm gonna come out with a video series of some key drills that they can do, drill sheets and things like that that they can do to improve and sharpen their skills. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, if you are a young athlete, definitely follow him and keep updated on social media because he's coming out with all the stuff. He already gave you the book, that's the blueprint. Now he's giving you the training abilities too. I mean, come on now. He's
Yeah.
is there any before we officially sign off, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or anyone you want to mention?
Man, I shout out to my wife. Shout out to Gabe Martinez. There's a CFL agent. He has his Nino Pro Sports Agency. Good friend of mine. He actually endorsed my book and wrote a great endorsement in here. Shout out to Cliff Madison, who's German Hall of Fame quarterback and head coach, and also he was my offensive coordinator for the Berlin Rebels. He gave me an awesome endorsement in here. Shout out to my defensive coordinator, who is now the current defensive coordinator for the Oregon Lightning, Delvin Miles. He gave me a great endorsement in here that, it goes a long way. So I appreciate all these people, endorsing the book, getting the book, standing behind me, helping me. I want to shout out to my wife for supporting me. I love my wife. I love you. And shout out to all the people who have already purchased the book, who are supporting what I'm trying to do and helping these athletes. And anyways, man, that's shout out to all my coaches, man, who gave me opportunities during that time, and the different agents and the people that I worked with, Ramiro Ferrand. Code is a guy I worked with named Cody, lesser known guy, but he was a great guy. It's a couple people, man, but yeah.
Mhm. Oh, hey man, that's awesome. Never forget the people who have helped you along the way, and especially the ones that are in your corner backing you up all the time.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling to have that, you know. But once again, Caleb Stennis, the author of So You Want to Be a Pro, on sale now. Once again, Caleb, thank you so much for coming on for the interview today. From all of us at Shady Sports, we thank you. And to all the fans out there watching, it's been an awesome interview, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely.